Okay, good. It worked the first time this time. That's a brilliant sign, honestly. I was genuinely very concerned whether it was going to sass me like it did last time or not. Up the volume for everyone else a bit, because it is a little quiet from the way the meters are looking. 60's probably a little too much. Go ahead and go with 53. Lower the sound effects a bit. Cinematics to match. That should be okay. If it isn't, I can make very quick adjustments on the fly. Let me just make sure things are going up as they should and going where they should. We took care of putting that there. Should be automatic over here. I think I've got my ducks in a row and all of my affairs in order. This is Ember Knights. You're not going to get to see the intro because I don't think I can show the intro without resetting what progress I've gotten. And since this is going to be really short, I'm not going to play around with that right now. Oh no, it is going to... No, it's just teleporting me back in. Okay. I thought for a second it might actually replay it. Oh well. The intro was quite good. So, that's something to look forward to when you purchase the game. Yeah, this is Ember Knight's quick little action RPG roguelite thing. It's been pretty fun so far. We're trying to stop somebody who siphoned a bunch of power off this tree here, which apparently is holding this whole place together, and things have since not been great. We go into this big old tear here, fight monsters, try to get where we're going, and that's it. Let's go. It's the simple answer for what's going on here. Got your standard, just melee attacks, dodge rolls. I'm doing alright, Zeno. How about you? This is Ember Knights. This just came out today in early access. I'm in a good mood today, for now. We'll see how long that lasts, since I have to work later. Oh, there, Cray. Hey, at least I'm not saying it's guaranteed to turn around. I'm just saying it could turn around. That up. What we got this time? Okay. Big poison bursts, always helpful. Of course, the amount of times I'm probably going to scare myself with those bursts of poison, probably going to be a pretty high number. Now, of note, It is recommended in many, many places in the game to play with controller. I'm currently playing with mouse and keyboard, and it is working just fine for those who have that as a concern. So I will say, if you do use mouse and keyboard, do unplug your controller, because it will vibrate like crazy. There's probably an option to turn it off that I did not notice, but just so nobody else gets the surprise I did in testing. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, that is a controller feature, yes. Unless you turn it off. It was just walking across my desk, because I forgot it was still plugged in. I tend to turn it off myself, too. But I get why some people would want to have it. It's a good bit of feedback. But yeah, there are some concerns with it. Just like I have some concerns right now about my chance of survival. If I don't start paying more attention to what I'm doing. There we go. There we go. Of course, going straight into a mini-boss after losing that much health, not ideal. Sanguine Sucker. Okay. Nope. Don't eat me. No. I'm made of fire. I'm not tasty. I'm too spicy for you. Nope, 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 nope. As you can see by my skill over there on the left, it is based on how many times you hit an opponent whether your skill will recharge, not any time-based cooldowns or anything. You can't just wait out an opponent and just recharge it that way. You have to actually be active. We've seen that before a couple of times recently. But it's a good... I like it. I like that system, honestly. I would say it's a better system than just it being cooldown based, considering you can then just cheese your way to victory. Not that I don't feel like I might need that at the rate I'm going, but I'll get there. What did that orb get me this time? Ooh, that'll be good to find. I can't afford anything nice. That's fine. I didn't get any skill tablets, so I've got no use for you. Just look at these little bastards. Look at them. Look at the little blockheads. They've got a ton of little animations. It's a really nice touch. Of course, they're not going to do half of them right now, because they're too busy waving at me. It's been a good time so far. I have a few concerns that I may get tired of it if I can't start making some real progress, but since I'm still unlocking stuff, it's going to keep going for a fair bit, I think. I just need to actually exert more effort instead of just messing around, and I'll be doing a lot better. Now, of note with the sword, your third attack has increased critical chance. So you want to make sure to land that on the more threatening things. If you can. And there is a bow, as you saw as I was going by there, but we need to get more Ember to unlock that. So, can't make use of that yet. Now, a good thing with those spinning enemies is I can actually stop them spinning if I hit them. Which is more of a concern to get rid of the other guys first at the moment. Of course, you know, then I just walk into them, because that's a great idea. Thought I was going to kill with that hit. Turns out it didn't. Less than ideal. Yeah, you always seem to get a skill in this early room here. You're not, like, stuck without one. Okay, we got bomb. Seems like you get 2 slots for skills, a right click and a middle mouse. Or at least, if you're using keyboard and mouse, that's what the controls would be. On controller, I don't know yet. I haven't actually tried it. I will be switching to that here in a bit, just so we can see both. But I tend to play games like this with mouse and keyboard so I can more accurately determine where I'm attacking. But that's a personal choice, I'd say. Okay, bonus stun damage. I don't really need health, so I'll take the gold. Now, of note, in the meta progression, I've purchased extra health and starting gold so far, so your first experience with the game will not quite be the same as what you're seeing right now. So if it seems like I'm really fragile, bear in mind, starting out, you'll actually be more fragile than this. Which, if anything, I would say is probably my one concern with the game. But at the same time, if I was actually playing carefully instead of just charging in, I would be just fine with this amount of health. But I wouldn't be me if I didn't just charge in wildly. That is good advice. To a point, it's fun, yes. Well, that's the thing, is deaths where you don't learn anything are where it starts to become a problem. Because there can be plenty of times where you'll just die immediately. Which, there's not really much learned there. Sure, quick reset either way, but too many of those back-to-back can get a bit frustrating. Guzzle Wound. Thankfully, these mini-boss rooms seem to always spawn 2 of these health items, so you're never really in too bad a situation going into the mini-boss. And you do have iframes on your roll. So as long as you time it well, you're in pretty good shape, generally. And this is the mini-boss that kept spawning when I was doing my couple test runs. So I'm familiar with how to fight this one, even though it's very similar to the other one. I didn't realize what the other trick to that one was going to be, so it caught me out of it. They both have that drain move, for example, and they, of course, both try to sting you with their mosquito stinger. I have yet to get caught by that drain move, but I'm sure it wouldn't be good if I did. Bastard. Trying to chase me into the drain. And Guzzle Wound dealt with without being hit. Maybe next time. This is our mid-run shop, run by Arlan here. Still saying the same thing he did earlier. Use a skill, throw a snowball. Take damage, throw a lightning bolt. I can afford one of these and health. At the rate I'm going, I'm going to take the armor. Health, there we go. Now, initially, those skull enemies were not spawning, so I'm assuming that's the game scaling up because we have more stuff available now. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Even early areas might get more dangerous as you go along, which is actually a good thing, because otherwise these early areas would just become a chore, or because they would get too easy. Sometimes you'll get these selectors which give you options instead of just, oh yeah, just take the thing that fell on the floor. Chakram's what I had last time, so we'll take Knight's Charge because I haven't seen that yet. Even though the odds of it getting me killed are about 80%. Healing Fountain, money. These healing fountains keep showing up when I'm only missing like 10 health. I suppose has its benefits, but at the same time, means I almost always will say no to it. It's probably not beneficial to my long-term health. Okay, Knight's Charge is pretty good. I like that stun. I don't like this room. Okay, I can charge across holes. I gambled there. I was expecting it to throw me down the pit. These over here always keep spawning the little spiders. Which, the little spiders die in one hit. They're not really a problem. Give me some move speed. Always like me some move speed. Even if it has a bad habit of getting me in trouble. Need to remember, those take 3 hits unless I have a damage upgrade. I don't have any means of freezing, otherwise I'd absolutely take that Bitter Chisel. I could take it and hope that I get one, because I don't have any status ailment applying either. It's either that or I just get bonus skill damage. But that would only help if I use a skill back-to-back with another skill. I'm gonna gamble on getting something that freezes to work with the Bitter Chisel. Worst case, I waste 1 slot. Oh well. And it's boss time. Thankfully, yet again, they do provide a decent bit of health right before the fight. So you very rarely are in a position where you've just kind of set yourself up for failure. Or by taking too much damage. So they're generous in that regard. Zurksaza. Now this thing's got one move in particular that's going to be the bane of my existence, and we'll see it here soon. Not that one, though that's a problem too. I think it comes out once he's through one section of his health bar. The jump's fine, because the jump seems to always go up there. It does summon a... yeah, that, right there, the fire ring. Because I am too impatient, so it tends to just mean I run into the fire and just destroy myself. All in all, that boss fight doesn't seem like it'll be too bad. I just need to get there in better shape than I tend to. Now, I will say, you've now seen the entire loop of the game, to my knowledge so far. The bow will probably make that so much easier. Let's buy earned power. Need 2 more upgrades before we find out what that is. So we'll buff up the earned power a bit more. What's in the relic ball? Nice, bonus heal. Of note, you'll notice it actually has a tracker for how many enemies you need to beat before you get your next orb. That's nice to have. And this will tell you how many skill tablets are in each area. So you're never left guessing. It won't tell you what they are, of course, but you don't waste time looking in places you've already found everything in. This will be my first skill tablet. So I just really like Eevee's design here. It's real good. Okay. Summon Tornado. Let's take the bow out for a spin. Multi-shot on 3rd attack, hold for piercing shot, and you generally just move faster. But you can't move while you're shooting. Okay. There's a very specific timing to do a better shot. Okay. I can work with that. Oh, it does not stop them spinning, though. Okay, that's important to know. This is gonna have its advantages, but oh boy, there's a catch. Wait, no, it does stop the spin. Never mind. I just had to hit it just right, rather than, I guess, hitting it too softly initially. And full charge shots seem to stun, so that's useful. Okay. Getting a handle on it. And of course, I'm going to be taking less damage most of the time. Because I'll be able to keep my distance from the constant contact damage I've been taking. Need to not be foolish about when I shoot. Pain bolts I've had before, it's pretty good. 3 charges of firing 3 bolts at a target. Just a general really good skill. Okay, the rapid shot stuns too. You just need to get all the shots in. Tunnel visioned real bad there. Careful not to mash the shoot button too hard, because it will interfere with you rolling out of your shot. is not better. This is not better. This is not a better situation. Yeah, as much as I want the picker, I'm gonna need the health. Now, of note, this has online multiplayer and local multiplayer, up to 4. It's always time for science. Even if it explodes, it'll probably be okay. Keyword, of course, being probably. Almost rolled into the hole there. That would have been unfortunate. But it seems to have a bit of give on that. Yeah, pretty much. That's a pretty accurate assessment. It's not as out of control with its power-ups yet, either. But it's also early on, so it may get real crazy once I can get further. That is the one unfortunate thing, is there seems to only be the 2 mini-bosses at the moment here. There might be more, because I saw Guzzle Wound like 3 times in a row before the other one showed up. It may also be that they may be, like, soft progress locked in some way, shape, and or form as well, so that they don't throw too many mechanics at you too quickly. Oh, what a difference a little range makes. Yeah. Even when I've not been doing very well, I've still been coming out of most runs with at least one new thing. So I'll give them credit for that. There we go. Skills recharge quicker. When you crit, your skills refresh. If I had a more guaranteed way to crit, I would absolutely take that. I mean, as much as I would like to call you out for lack of faith, you're also not wrong. Because I absolutely should have been the one dying there. Because I got way too full of my own shit at the end there, thinking I could just finish him as he charged at me. But I also was at full health, so the odds of dying there were low. Yeah. More Ember. Because Ember's the meta currency, so we want that more than the gold for the most part. Because all gold will do is potentially make this run better, which, considering I would need to beat another mini-boss and/or the regular boss in order to get another shop, at least in my experience so far, gold doesn't have that much meaning to me. I need to be better before I can worry about gold being important. So many spiders. Oh, there is no spider. What? Where did all the... I guess just that many naturally spawned in here then, because I didn't see a spider spawner anywhere. That rapid shot is real good. I should be using that more. Cyclone. Since it's new. In theory, I should absolutely be taking Frostwall since I know it's good. But we're all about trying new things. I should get the health. I'm trying to be a little more sensible this time. I want us to actually beat this boss. Yep, I like the tornado. The tornado's good stuff. Everybody just goes away. This will be the first time going into the boss with actual full health, I think. I think we were just short last time. Can't come back for it, so I'll take it anyway. Here we go. Without having to worry about running into the firewall as much, I should be a lot better off, in theory, with this fight. I could have placed that tornado better. Also, don't have to worry as much about getting my face slashed off. Beat them up here so we're not cornered. They seem to always land up there with the jump. Now I gotta watch out for the lightning instead of the fire. Damn it. I'm supposed to squash the bug, not the bug squashing me. Knock it off. No. Sorry, just sit in the tornado. It's a great idea. Now they start summoning bigger enemies. This is where I died the first time I was fighting this thing. I got real close, and then the big guys dropped on my head, and bad things happened. Thankfully, by the power of range, we're gonna do this time. I really thought I dropped the ball right there at the end. It got real dicey. I just immediately jinxed myself by saying that. Now to see what the next area looks like, finally. Oh, it's a bit cold here. Prestigious encampment. Uh-oh. They got bows now. They're adapting. Pizza does sound nice. But what kind of pizza? And the answer to that is generally yes. The answer to should you get a pizza is very rarely no. Usually the only question being financial viability of said pizza. That's fair. Not wanting to get up is also a valid answer. You too, huh? Okay. Can't say that's anything new for either of us, but it's still unfortunate. I should probably get the extra gold, but we haven't gotten any stats yet, so let's get some stats. I mean, food would help that a bit. But food might also just turn into, okay, I do nothing now. Oh, consumed everything. No more movement. crit chance increase. 1 in 10 chance of critting is not bad. Yeah. On the one hand, it's good that you had the good sleep for a bit, but I'm betting it probably makes the bad sleep all the worse for a bit, too. Here's hoping the bad doesn't last that long this time. Exactly. In an interesting turn of events, for about a week or so, I actually was sleeping a lot better too. But just last night was just bad. I'm gonna take the skill refresh. Series giving a lot more gold. I'm going to assume that things are going to be a lot more expensive in the next shop. Yeah. Two parts will never agree with each other. Just like, I want to do this, but I want to do that, but I want to do the other thing. Note to self, don't let two knights be alive at the same time. They're bad times. When they're together. First, I suppose the best question as far as the walk goes is, what's the weather like right now? Because if it's just miserable like it is here, I wouldn't recommend it. We're like back in winter temperatures around here right now for some reason. Okay, that makes the walk really tempting then. Okay, those mages do a lot of damage. Each of those spikes did 8 each. And I got hit by multiple, so health just went goodbye. I mean, you're not wasting it as long as you're doing something. And that's the other thing, yeah. If you've not been feeling well, it may not be a good idea to push your luck. But at the same time, a little bit of time outside's good for your health sometimes, too. There's probably a middle ground you could take on that idea. So I'd say if getting to the pizza place you want to get pizza from is real close, and it wouldn't be a long walk or anything, it's probably worth doing. Yeah, exactly. Small walk, food, good boost to the way you're currently feeling. And then you just come back and go back to relaxing. Then yeah, that would probably be fine. Okay, we're missing a couple enemies in the first area, it looks like. At least I'm assuming that these would all be in the first section, since these are all second. kind of funny to see just what has actually managed to kill me in this game so far. And that is the witches, the boss, the big spiders. Once the poison tree got me. I'm surprised the rotworms haven't killed me. I feel like they should have had credit for killing me at least once. But I'm pretty sure one of those times I killed me. So I don't know if that counts. I've gone 6 times and died 6 times. So if that's killed me twice, that's killed me once, that's 3, 4, 5. There's one missing. There's a death that's unaccounted for. Odd. I mean, I don't think I actually self-destructed, but maybe I did, considering there's a death unaccounted for. Hard to say. Let's see what our new skill is. And of course, now that we've proven the power of the bow, I'm probably going to go back to sword and try to get just as far with it. Ooh. Stun spikes. Right, I already just spent that. We're going to be getting a lot less relic orbs here now, though, because the enemy count seems to go up with each orb. But we do have one coming to us as soon as we clear another room. So that's good. I'm hoping down the line they add more weapons, because 2 primary weapons is good, but I would like more. But that's also just me. If they flesh them out enough, it wouldn't be an issue. And the skill variety right now keeps it fresh, even if you are using the same basic attack. There we go, there's that relic orb that was mentioned. So I will say, if the compendium had the amount of damage taken by particular enemies listed on there, I'm pretty sure those rotworms would have the top amount. That's a possibility, too. I will say right now, if you are in the multiplayer, you'll just have a night like this of a different color. Which, from what I've seen of it, since I haven't actually done any multiplayer yet, they do seem to stand out pretty well visually, so you won't have too much of a problem finding yourself. Whenever you conjure a lightning bolt that damages enemies. Okay. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it makes sense. Both from a design standpoint and just from the way the game is we were literally created from the little blue fires you see on the tree to try to save the tree. So in context, it makes sense. Even if it may not be the most out there design. Whenever you crit, you heal. I'm getting so much crit-based stuff, but I have very little crit. Sad. I could grab Frostbite since I have a guaranteed freeze. But I'm gonna try to swing this crit build. I just need to find things that give me crit. Which, since I at least have massively increased critical chance on the third swing with the sword, I can still leverage this even without much else increasing it. It would just be nice to have my other attacks be giving good crit chance too. And having any means of healing without relying on items is going to be a massive help. That means we have actual in-fight heal. Raise that guy so he's not going to be a problem while I deal with this. In hindsight, should have frozen the big worm. That would have been the smarter play. Yeah. Well, heal on crit when I hit. So it's not going to be, like, all the time. But it'll help either way. Oh, different mini-boss. Gust. Okay, they've got a double dash. That's already concerning. They summon a lot of tornadoes. Okay. Concerning. Very concerning. Strong dislike. Pop those open so I can grab them. Fine. Yep. Summoning all your tornadoes. That was a bad trade. I will say that double charge would have absolutely caught me if I wasn't expecting something like that from something called Gust. Considering my normal pattern for this fight was charge in right after he dashes and attack. So that's a good change for that mini-boss. It forces you into a different pattern. Yes! Give me looping powers. Yes! Because now, I'll heal when I crit, and when I crit, heal, and then my crit increases from that heal, it'll just keep looping in on itself. Raising the odds of me healing, which raises the odds of me getting more crits, which raises the odds of the heal. Round and round and round it goes. I fumbled the phrasing on that real bad, but I'm assuming it's understood what I mean. Let's get more gold this time. Even though we just left the shop. I'm feeling strong enough that we might actually be able to make it to the next shop this time. Since we're actually managing to maintain our health thanks to these effects. Oh! That's not... Huh. You actually have a different attack if you roll into your attack. I only just now realized. You have, like, a stab move. Absolutely gonna take a stun move. Even though the arcane bolts would probably be better against the boss, the stun will be useful everywhere. It's a good defense move. Which I absolutely did not know what it was gonna do when I used it. So I'm very happy that it happened to actually be a circle around me instead of just a single spike. Because I wasn't sure which way that was gonna go. Yeah, feeling a lot more powerful now. Not sure this setup's the best for the boss, necessarily. But I think it's pretty good. Of course, that crit bonus is going to wear off by the time I get in the fight, but it'll be okay. Probably going to want to actually save Rupture for when he starts summoning friends on me. I don't think it's going to be too useful for actually hitting him. Or it. You know, I'm not going to try to determine which way this thing is. It could be all of the above for all I know. Wrong button. This could be the end. Because he's real mad now. It's really upset with me about everything I've done to it. Oh, this is bad. 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 Please do me the kindness of dying before I do. Oh, it's so close. Yes! Ah! Victory with sword. That got way closer than was comfortable. Oh. Defeat area boss in under 7 minutes and you'll get a bonus now. Okay. To know. And that's absolutely doable if I just pressed on through rather than stopping to think about things. Seems like those archers have some kind of natural dodge. Not even the actual dodge move, just sometimes you just miss them. I thought they could ambush me. Didn't work out for them at all. On the one hand, you'd almost think that these ice guys wouldn't be freezable, but I'm very happy that they can be frozen. Otherwise, that would get very awkward very quickly. Let's do. Ah, I can get the same buff they have. Okay. Neat. No, no more of that. No more of this buffing you're doing. Fuse. I mean, just keep getting stronger. Why not? If they're dead before I am, I win. Ow. Careful of the spikes. Okay, I timed that all kinds of wrong. I was trying to be cheeky and hit him with the rupture as he charged. And I paid for it real bad. Well, that's what happens when you decide to be a smartass sometimes. It just doesn't pay off. Doesn't look like there's any food this time. Which, we could see the food in the ice, so I was pretty sure there wasn't any, but I figured I may as well check. There's gonna be food there. I just need to get to it alive. Ooh. Ice coming in clutch. I could make every enemy I kill drop gold. Well, not every enemy, but it would get to that point. I probably want the healing increased by 1, because I'm assuming that applies to the crit heal as well, which means I'd heal 2 every time I crit. Though that plasma ball is also very tempting. But healing 2 on every crit is gonna be what saves this run, I think. I already have the lightning blast from critting anyway. Not that I'd ever say no to more lightning. Just to be clear. Ah, I got pulled into the ice tornado. Ah, oh god, no, 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 no! Ah. Got frozen. Rest in peace, run. That was a really good run, though. I like where that was going. The crit build is scary. Let's get more health. And more damage per boss beaten. Okay, now we get rerolls. That's fantastic. First time you hit an enemy, it poisons. Okay, guaranteed poison. Okay. Did not get a new skill slate this time. Okay, okay. Sweep, 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 sweep. All in all, not the deepest game I've ever played, but it is very fun. Sometimes it's good for things to be simple. Cyclone, okay. The way the Cyclone just sometimes pulls an enemy from very far away from it is a little confusing. Not sure if that's intended behavior. We're getting steadily more and more health each time, so... odds of getting further and further are getting better. Would have been real good to have when I had the guaranteed stun game, but sure. I'll take it now, why not? those wondering, yes, I'm kind of playing towards trying to get that bonus chest from the boss fight. No, I don't anticipate getting it unless I get a really strong other attack. But I'm willing to give it a go. More gold. While Cyclone's real good, it takes a lot of recharging. So I can't just, like, spam it to clear rooms. Sanguine Sucker, okay. Yeah, Tornado's not gonna be great against this mini-boss either. It doesn't stay still. Okay, can't pick things up while attacking. I was trying to multitask there to speed things along. Now with Sanguine Sucker, you gotta watch out. Yep, it does heal when it stings you. Okay, as expected. It'll probably also heal from that giant circle, too. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the triple sting and these wormhole portal things, which I'm assuming will life drain just like the big circle will. Which, once it gets mad, it summons real big circles. Ooh, that was almost a really bad trade. He got that attack off just in time to almost ruin that for me. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That got uncomfortable. Third hit is Chain Lightning. Yes. Okay, the extra damage boost from the every third hit Chain Lightning might be what I need. I just gotta be a little more cautious now that the big boys are in play. Another Relic Orb. Oh, these are not really what I want or need, but I'll take the Knight's Charge for the stun to work with the Giant Mace. Much as I like bombs, Blast Bomb just doesn't impress me. I almost feel like there'd be something behind that waterfall. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left on the 7-minute timer so far. But I think I've got at least one more room left before the boss room. So unless the boss fight goes real well and real fast, I don't anticipate getting the 7 minutes. Especially not when they summon 2 of those things on me. So that tornado worked out real well. Give me skill damage. Try going that route this time. Now we've got a minute and a half to fight the boss. If there isn't another room. We'll take the guaranteed poison stacks. Okay, we are at the boss room. So, a minute and a half boss fight. Let's see how this goes. The poison might help. That tornado damage is really good. Thing is, I'm gonna really end up pushing my luck as far as surviving this goes, I fear. Got half a minute to deal with one health bar. We could do it. This could be done. Tornado coming in clutch. Come on. Oh, the auto target might have fucked me. Yep. Damn it. There is a bit of auto targeting, because in spite of where I was pointing the mouse, it was targeting the boss with the attacks anyway. So I ended up dragging myself towards it instead of where I wanted to go, which was cleaning up the little guys. Damn it. That would have been on time, though. That was just about gonna be within the bonus timer. But that's the risk of trying to go for bonuses. Especially when I'm probably not quite ready to be doing that. Whenever you defeat a burning enemy, you get an aura that burns and damages nearby enemies for 3 seconds. Okay. Don't really have any way of burning things that I know of, but sure. Now, I will say, I don't know if I will do multiple streams of this game, because I think we've kind of seen most of it at this point. I may like look at it when it updates and at times like that, or just as part of simple days. But I don't think this is gonna get focused. We got the starting poison. I'm once again trying for the timer. I need all the power I can get. Those poison pools really do linger, don't they? Boss. Plaguebringer, another different one. Okay, they've got a lot of variations of this mini-boss, apparently. And just when I was worried about poison pools, now I get a poison boss. It's like they're listening. If you're out there and listening, devs, why must you troll me this way? Why? It makes good content, but I am not overly pleased by this. That's a lot of poison pools. Oh, you have the double charge too, huh? Okay. Yeah, I think it is actually just scaling up as you get stronger. Because now we've gotten 2 bosses with the double charge, but now there's yet another mechanic tacked on top. This time being poison pools and poison trails. There might be something to that. Bronze rat would be nut. Oh my, yes. I don't care if I can't afford the heal. First hit being guaranteed crit is fantastic. That is gonna massively inflate my damage output. But at least in basic rooms. Cyclone is probably what I should take for expediting the boss, but Frost Wall will keep me alive going forward. Let's take the heal. Hesitated for some reason there. That was good cleanup. Or do I reroll this? Because I do have a reroll. Let's reroll that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the chronograph. I shouldn't have rerolled that. Ended up being better in the first roll, but it'll be what it'll be. Okay. Be safe if you're going for that walk. That was risky. Right, my own ice wall might get me killed. I forgot it's solid. Nope, too far. I should have rolled the other way. Ah, nope. I set myself up for failure. I made poor choices there. That's on me. I like the things we had, but I made some real dodgy choices as far as how I moved. And can't afford anything. Sad. We're starting to hit that point where I'm not going to have constant growth anymore. One second. Okay. Just checking on something. I'm gonna miss that guaranteed crit. But hopefully we'll find it again. If I could get that alongside the crit heal, we would basically be unstoppable as long as we don't take a massive hit. Oh, there we go. Ember Fire. I saw that on my first run and then it never showed up again. And it's already looking like it'll be useful. Okay. Give me thorns. Spewed fire over nothing. Great. Love it. Doing a great job. Starting to think going for healing rooms might actually just generally be a mistake unless you're nearly dead. You end up lacking in power. Let's take the straight incoming damage decrease. With the way things hit in this game, probably really strong. And we're gonna try something that's basically the antithesis of how I operate. We're gonna go defensive. In terms of upgrades, that is. I usually just go all in on whatever aggressive upgrades I can get. But the game's giving me defensive upgrades, so we'll just try going that route entirely and see if it does anything good for me. Which I will say, being less likely to just die in one hit to something does have its appeal. Especially while we've actually got an extra damage effect like burn going on. I chose poorly on that one. That's on me. I was trying to speed the fight up a bit. Thankfully we can buy a heal here, but we can't buy the heal and an item. Sometimes my own logic concerns me greatly, in that my logic is telling me, no, go ahead and just buy more power. We can worry about health later. Yep. We can't die if they're dead already. Which is not technically wrong, but boy is it riding on the edge of fallacy there. We'll go ahead and take Rupture. His Rupture was doing pretty good. It's less likely to trap me like my Ice Wall. We're about to go to the boss, so I'm actually going to take the Healing Fountain this time, since we are missing enough health that we wouldn't get the full heal from the boss room. Oh no, I was off by a room. Point still stands, though. We needed the heal. There we go. So we're not going to go in with full health, but we'll go in close. And we have 2 minutes and change this time to kill it. What? Oh, okay. For some reason the room looked a little weird to me, so I thought we ended up with a different fight. to my knowledge, there isn't another fight. So... that would have been very confusing. It certainly would have complicated my plans a lot. Biggest problem we're gonna have is I don't have a ranged attack, particularly to reach past the fire. So the fire is gonna be a delay every time. It's gonna get really close again. I actually got hit by a little spider. I'm so upset with myself right now. Got it. The only hit point that matters is the last one. Yeah. Boost. And bonus chest with a minute to spare. Relic orb. Nice. Having good, consistently usable skills is definitely a big part of this. Because basic attacking these guys down just does not end well. And then again, there's probably a build where you could set up your basic attacks to be strong enough to make that work, but I wouldn't rely on that. Of course, now we get the crit chance increase. I mean, I'm taking it anyway, but I'm annoyed. I should have grabbed that buff before I went through the door, but I noticed it as I was going through said door. These archers are such a menace. And I think there is slight ice physics to this place. I feel a bit slidey in here. I could return 10 damage. I can get 3 damage down instead of 2. Nah, reroll. Take the heal increase. I'm gonna need it. Hit by the trap. Ah, I thought I rolled out of that. I was just a frame off. But that one's on me. is absolutely on me. Running into money problems, I'm going to start increasing my starting gold again. Plague Bomb. Whenever you defeat a poisoned enemy, create a burst of poison, your attacks just straight up do more damage. Yes! Yes! Haven't gotten another skill tablet yet. Oh, right, because we've defeated enough things in the first area that we don't get any more here yet. Right. Charge, okay. So we're gonna want to try to leverage the stun. If we get anything that works around stuns. One way or the other, we can leverage the stun to save my own ass, so worth it one way or the other. Also just generally a good gap closer anyway. Okay. Okay, we've got the crit glove. Now we just need to actually get the increase these chances. And we'll be in business. We've seen the combo, we just need to make the combo happen. While I get the fact that he's covered in spikes, makes contact damage make sense, I still hate contact damage with a passion. Oh, he's so upsetting. Like, oh, I casually bumped into the monster. I am now more injured than I would be if it did anything else. Joyous day. Boss room. We are steadily going faster and faster through these. With better and worse results, admittedly. Damn it. Ah. Bit move with his butt. No tornadoes. No. Either he bumped into something or he actually short-charged. I can't tell which happened there, but I don't like the concept of him short-charging if that's a thing that happens. Keep ending up one hit short of recharging my charge. Oop, oop. End it. I could have went back around that cycle again, but it was not going to be worth it to me. Okay. Sure. I'm in decent enough health. I'll take both items for a change. Not often we get to buy both items. You know, I'm just grateful that it hasn't been spawning elite big spiders on me. Since those things are the bane of my existence. Elites of those would probably just be a run ender. But given the spaces that are available, I have to assume that they exist. Just like elite poison throwers probably exist. I got stuck on that rock. I liked Ember Fire. We'll take Ember Fire again. Arcane Bolts is probably the better choice for the situation we're going to be going into. But I like my Ember Bolt. I mean, I like my Ember Fire, rather. There we go. Heal up almost to full. The fact that the little spiders do 5 damage is just upsetting to me on a deep level. I need the increased crit chance now that I have the crit heal again. I don't know if we're going to get the bonus this time, because we stalled out pretty bad for a minute there. Oh, sweet Jesus. Then they start pulling crap like that, where they just drop 3 big spiders on my head. Straight do bonus damage. Yeah, sure. Okay, we are at the boss room with almost 2 minutes, so it's possible. Actually, no. Barely 1 minute. Never mind. This is not likely to work out. I thought we were at just 5 minutes in. Turns out we were at just about 6 minutes in. This just in. Drac can't read clocks. Got greedy. Jesus, I need to stop getting so damn greedy in this fight. Pushing my luck left and right, and for some reason thinking it's not gonna backfire on me. That, however, was a very good charge. Gonna be really close. Got it. I don't know if we got it in time, though. Nope, just barely missed the time. They did give us a crit bonus, though. So the future's looking good. Current results are a bit mixed. stats. Always more stats. That refresh on crit is actually coming in real handy. Myself a bit more health now. Don't need to rush anymore because I don't know when the thing is. Ooh. Finally, I actually got a shop in the second area. All too expensive for me. Sad. Well, I guess we'll just take the things that are over here. Take the health and the gem of crit damage. Do you have anything different to say here? I mean, you probably do, you just don't know where it is. To be fair, never trusting a pile of snow is a good idea, because you don't know how deep it is. You could stick your foot in it, you could stick your whole body in it. You may never know. Mages definitely need to go first because they will just make those slow tornadoes that ruin everything. Such things are not always possible, but you know, when you can prioritize, that would be the one to prioritize. We might actually see at least a mini-boss this time, though. Yep, next room mini-boss. Rusty the fuck, man. Oh boy. Yep. Okay, what kid brought this snowman to life? I need to know. I need names. I have questions. That banner he can drop is a real damn problem. On the whole, he doesn't seem that bad. You just gotta keep his minions under control. And don't eat a shield hit. There we go. First mini-boss of the second area down, so we get a new skill tablet. And we came out of that okay. Half health is acceptable for first go-round of a mini-boss, I'd say. Considering the way this area just in general kind of tears me up. Another relic orb. Nice. Give me more options, more power, more things. Just more. Not more enemies, though. I can do with less of those. This might be the run-ending room, though. I ain't super careful. Whew. That was uncomfortably close. From just screwing around to, oh god, I'm dying, I need to pay attention. King Ice Mages. Okay. If I wasn't continuing to get the skill recharges from that gauntlet, we would have died a while ago, though. Being able to just keep throwing skills around to keep things under control has been the only thing keeping me alive. Yep. I started hammering dodge, but I realized too late what was coming my way. Still, that was good. We actually made it halfway through the second area instead of only into the second area and then dying. Swamp. Oh, I didn't realize there were different upgrades behind this one. We can do bonus damage to elites and champions instead, which we haven't even seen champions yet, I don't think. We've only seen elites. It might be worthwhile to take that so we start clearing the big boys better. I don't know. There's a different one here, too. Do extra damage when you're above 75% health. That's all well and good, except I'm never at that. What's this? Ooh, every world you enter gives you bonus money. That could be really strong. What's this one? Heal 3 for completing every room with enemies in it. I'm gonna unlock regeneration just so I can see. Okay. Whenever you defeat a boss or mini-boss, you heal. Those seem pretty strong, but I think I like just the straight max health too much. Let's see what this one is. 5 gold per room until they make a purchase. Ooh. Those upgrades are all pretty good. What's this one? 20% bonus damage when they're under 25% health. If this was like under 50% for a low bonus, I would take that in a heartbeat, but the amount that is, I don't think I'd go for that. Ooh. Absolutely buying that one next time I have Ember to spend. A revive will be a huge game changer. Burning effects do bonus 100% damage. Okay. Okay. Beep 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 boop. What's the skill we're going to get now? Ballista. Summon an ethereal ballista to decimate approaching enemies. Okay, there's potential there. Not usually too into summon abilities, but at the rate this game's going, I might need that. Especially if it has a health bar and the enemies actually will sometimes target it. That would be fantastic. Of course, now we're back to being weak. Fire, okay. I like me some Ember Fire. I will say, there's a certain rhythm to these rooms that if you're at the right rhythm, you won't get hit. You can just keep knocking everything away from yourself and be in good shape without even having to stop. Okay, relic daggers. Time that wrong. Bonus damage. I think I've only got a couple more in me, though. In part because tired, and in part because I gotta get ready for work before too long. Of course, it all depends on how long each of these runs goes, too. If they go long, then it's only gonna be like one more. But we'll see how it goes. Bastard summoning poison pools right under my feet. Oh boy, oh boy. You got a triple dodge. Dodge, dash, brain. Please. Well, that could have gone better. They really just want me all in on that burning idea, apparently. And I can't say I'm against the idea. I'm all for this idea of making enemies explode. Okay. Not the kind of explosion I was hoping for. It's not like a big fireball explosion. But at the same time, for visual clarity, it makes sense that they'd only just have the, like, little blue burst to show that they did explode and what it reaches, but not, like, distract the player immensely. I need healing. Okay, they do get distracted by the ballista, so that's good. That's important. If it can draw aggro, that has just jumped way up the list of what I'm going to use. Whenever you burn an enemy, stun them. Ooh. Yeah, this is just the burning run. This is just burn the everything. I like this run. This is good run. All things must burn. And it's boss time. With most of my health, not all of it, but most of it. This could work out. We don't have a ton of time to get the bonus, but try. Because with the ballistas in play, we do deal a lot of damage quite quickly. But we also just took a shitload of damage right off the top because I made mistakes. I went for the burn. I like where that build was going, but unfortunately, poor timing. I did say I was gonna do a run with controller, and I haven't done that yet. So I will actually just do one more after this, just to make sure I get a run with controller in, so we see what the difference is. I'm one of those people where it's not usually a significant difference, so I don't know if it'll amount to much. Probably be the usual, I'm less accurate, but I dodge better. Which, with the bit of auto-aim the game has, might be okay. That might actually work out favorably. Probably just wouldn't be advisable when using the bow. At least for me. There's always that chance when I'm up at the top of one of these rooms that I'm just gonna get sucked out of the room the second the fight ends and not get anything. That would really suck. But I wouldn't be surprised if that is possible to happen. Guzzle wound, we meet again. Bomb didn't take so long to recharge. I would like Bomb a lot more. Because I do like Bomb moves in games like this, but for all that it does do a decent bit of damage, it just takes a lot of hits to recharge. There's an enemy at a bonus stack. When you crit, deal bonus stun. Ooh. I can only have one. Since the poison's guaranteed, so I'm gonna take the guaranteed double stack. See how that plays. I'm assuming poison works in terms of dealing damage per stack in this. Like, it seems to take based on number of stacks. The only way to really have it do actual damage would be to give extra stacks of it. Take the more efficient arcane bolts, since we've got a kind of inefficient main move right now. I need to heal. it works, the bomb's super efficient. It's just a matter of it takes so damn long to recharge it. Not sure why my attacks started going off that way. Ooh, you know what? Let's just go all in on poison stacks if the game's gonna give me this option. So we now have 3 stacks of poison when we hit something the first time. It's gonna be a bit weak about anything else, but this might be interesting. I don't think it's gonna be very good, though. Especially not against a boss. But I had the opportunity to go all in, so I went all in. Good news is this skill setup works really well for this boss. Just the relics aren't that great. Fortunate that I had to burn the bomb immediately to save myself from those guys. Especially when I rolled the wrong way and ended up still in the fire. I was not fast enough. I didn't think I needed to roll there because I thought I was going to walk out of it in time. Turns out I was wrong. Okay. Get in the controller. See if it picks it back up naturally. Yes. Okay. Very good. We now have the revive, so this is going to be a longer run. A button rolls, X attacks. Triangle and circle are probably going to be using my abilities. Good thing I have the revive, because it's gonna be a bit funky for a bit while I get used to the different control method. That's a hell of a place to put the skill game, jeez. Okay, damage reflection. Stabbing, rolling, stabbing, rolling, stabbing, rolling. Sanguine Sucker again, okay. Deploy the ballista. It's gonna make his pattern go a bit weird. Yeah, I don't think those were a benefit, honestly. I think trying to attack him while those were going was just a terrible idea, and we've now given him back most of his health while losing all of what we gained. I just play keep away while it's active and let it do its job. Yeah, the slight difference in how it feels when I'm moving around with the stick instead of the keyboard is affecting me. Making my positioning slightly different. Like, not a lot different, but just that little bit of... that's enough for some moves to be better and some to be worse. Wasted the revive real early. The crit skill refresh is probably really good, but I'm going to try the snowballs. I haven't tried the snowballs yet. Are these notifications important? Nope. Not right now, anyway. Okay, the snowball pierces enemies, so that's good to know. Blast Bomb or Chakram? It's been a while since we've played with Chakram. Let's bring the Chakram. As expected, that's on that button. I want the stat bonuses. We've got a lot of set it and forget it type skills this time. Chakram will just go do its thing, and of course the Ballista just does its thing. Okay, getting a lot of crit chance this time. Need some relics that work with that, and we'll be in business. Jeez, that went wrong. That all went wrong. Starting to wonder if I'm even going to make it to the boss this time. It's basically like we reset the learning curve I had. Oh. Oh. It's all good, Nimble. How you doing? Alright. I'm gonna have to go to work before too awful long, so that's gonna turn things around a bit for me. In a less than positive way, more than likely, but at least I managed to fit this in today. And this has been working out pretty well, I'd say. This is pretty good so far. Definitely hoping that the you keep this up and actually add a lot more in terms of skills and relics to this. As soon as I stop just eating that stomp, this fight will go a lot better every time I do this. Say as I just immediately get my head crushed. Might still win this. Might be able to pull this off. Nope. Didn't roll in time to get away from the lightning. Okay, yeah. Oh, you're going to whine at me, huh? Okay. I need to use the keyboard and mouse first, and then it'll allow me to disconnect the controller and not be grumpy. Or it's just gonna keep being grumpy now, even though it didn't do that before. Sure, why not? As I knock everything on my desk around. Yeah, the art is fantastic. Let me see if I can turn vibration off. Otherwise, it's just going to start shaking the controller around the desk and annoying me. There we go. Let's see what's in this relic orb. Whenever you get a perfect skill, you heal. Okay. That's great for bow, not so much for sword, because I don't know how to actually do perfect sword attacks, if there even is a way. Our knights can revive once with 55% max HP. Okay. So you either get multiple revives or one really good revive. Oh yeah, there's more caretakers running around now. Oh, as the tree gets bigger. There's a lot of little guys running around now. On that note, let's check the compendium. Sort of, yeah. Some of the relics will give you a benefit if you do like perfect attacks or perfect skill usage. And a lot of stuff synergizes well with each other. We've died to the big spider 6 times. Still have only been killed by Sanguine Sucker as far as the mini-bosses go. We still only really died to the big spiders. We've died a lot in the second area to actual regular mobs, though. Like, for example, where was it? Yeah, hitting an enemy with a perfect skill attack poisons them. No, I still didn't finish Koromon. I've not really been streaming it that much since really it just ended up not doing very well after the initial bit, so I'm still on the fence whether I'm going to keep doing that live or if I'm just going to go ahead and do that on my own time. And the camera has died. Hello, Moonfang. How you doing? It's going pretty well, all things considered. We've died a lot, but we've at least managed to make it about halfway through the second area on one of the trips through. So I'd say it's going pretty good. I was just taking a quick look through the compendium again to remind myself of a few things. Keeping the sword, and back in we go. Much on screen. Now, you can generally only carry 2 skills with you, but you can carry a lot of relics, as long as you can actually get them. And your skills will only recharge by actually hitting enemies, for those coming in late. They aren't time-based cooldowns in this. You have to actually make successful melee attacks, or, if you're using the bow, successful shots. But in exchange, the skills tend to be pretty powerful. All healing I get is better. It'll be worth it, if I can get any healing. The enemies you see with the skulls and the glowing circles when they spawn in are elites. More dangerous. Don't seem to typically have new moves or anything, just a lot stronger. And I saw mention in one of the skills of there being champion grade enemies, and I have no idea when we'll start seeing those. But I'm not sure I want to. Power. And for those interested in such things, this does have up to 4-player or multiplayer, both online and local. I have not tested either the online or the local as of yet. I will probably be doing that sometime this week. Whether that'll be live or not is very up in the air. Given my current schedule, probably won't be, but we'll see. It also depends on who I can get a hold of for that idea. And as to what platforms this is on, I know it's on Steam and came out today. I don't know what else it came out on. I do not remember seeing a listing. Go. Guzzle wound dealt with. It'll be fun, I think, but the concern I would have with the multiplayer for this will be how they handle collision and things like that. Because if you end up just getting jammed up on each other a lot with the size of these arenas, that could certainly be possible, and that could start just becoming a nightmare. And scaling's also going to be a thing to consider. But I do think it would be a lot of fun. I will say, I already get stuck on enough random junk in this game. If player collision's a thing, that could be utterly devastating. Take Ember Fire this time. Now, a while back, I was rushing through this stage to try to get to the boss and defeat it in under 7 minutes because there's a bonus chest for doing that. With the way things have turned, I'm going to stop trying to push that quite as much because it's just going to lead to more death. While I do have a single revive from one of the upgrades I've bought, I don't really want to be burning that in this stage. I'd rather save it for the next stage, which is significantly harder for me so far. Relic Orb. Relic Orbs drop based on number of enemies killed. I definitely want this whenever you crit, you heal, because every third strike of the sword, when you see it glowing yellow like that, has increased crit chance. So you generally get a crit like every fourth or set of swings. It's not a hard, fast number, but it usually seems to work out that way. That combined with the increased heal item I've already got means I'm going to be healing for like 2 or so every time I crit. So as long as that happens reasonably regularly, we'll be able to keep ourselves in this a bit. Things do tend to do like 6 to 10 damage though, so it's not the biggest thing. But it helps. Works out particularly well when you go for a while without actually getting hit. Nope, too early. You do have iframes on that roll. There's not a lot of them, though. And there we go. Boss down. And that was within the timer. Sometimes it pays not to try to go for it, because you'll end up there anyway. Camera is still dead for some reason. Camera, why are you being like this? Heck with it. I ain't gonna be going that much longer anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about it. Just tells me I still need to replace that stupid thing. Because what I think is happening is it's overheating both because it's between the monitors, and it's just generally been between really hot and really cold around here. Status ailments are fun, but at the same time, they have to be done right. If a game doesn't have good status elements, they're not worth using at all. This one, I'm not feeling them too much so far. They don't seem to have that much of an effect, but there's also a lot of relic support for those status effects, so it may just be that you need the setup to be fully together for it. Ooh. Third hit triggers chain lightning. Give me stats. Give me crit damage. Half my build revolves around critting at this point. No. Those spike traps are super dangerous since they can freeze you. Welcome back, Xeno. Hopefully your walk was good. Using up that revive soon. Oh, he died to spikes. That's convenient. What do we got? Reroll. Burn stun's really tempting, but the crit lightning's also really, really tempting. All of these are tempting. Ah. I'm gonna take the stun, though, because I'm gonna need it. And you can upgrade your relics by finding a second copy of them as well. But RNG has not been favorable for me as far as that goes yet. At least not very often. It would help me immensely if I hit the right button to use the right skill. I ended up throwing an arcane bolt at melee range. Oh, there goes the revive. But at least we're still in this. See if I can find any health in here. Mages are the worst thing here. Both the ice spike throwing ones and the slow causing ones. That was an elite one. Yikes. They're starting to spawn those now. That's bad news for me. Because I already don't fight those well to begin with. So them getting massive health pools and a lot more damage is bad times for me. Can't afford the revive upgrade that I really want. I'm not feeling the amount of health problem anymore, so maybe healing every room might be a good idea. Thing is, each upgrade adds 1 health, so that's going to cap out at like 5 health per room. Meanwhile, that... Actually, yeah, that gains extra max HP when defeating a mini-boss or a boss. Thing is, there's only 1 mini-boss per area and 1 boss, so you'd gain 12 max HP by the end of the first area. Unless the second area is longer than the first one, you'd only gain another 12 there, so you'd only have gained 24 by the time you get to the third area. So it's only just then matching the upgrade from Thick Skin before I've even finished upgrading Thick Skin. So I find it hard to believe that this is ever going to be better than Thick Skin on... Well, then again, it depends on how much you get per upgrade for Earned Vitality. Because if it goes to like 20 per kill, then that's fantastic. I'll unlock it and see what it gives per... Yeah, it only gives 2 more per upgrade. So that'll give 10 health per boss. So you'd have the same amount I have from Thick Skin right now at the end of the first area. By the end of the second area, you'd have more than I do right now. But you have to get there alive. No, I think Thick Skin's still a better choice. At least for me. We'll just upgrade Thick Skin. Because once it's fully upgraded, it'll be 30. Just always. Ooh. Whenever your health falls below 10%, cast Meteor. Okay, sure. I don't even have Meteor. Yeah, pretty much. When in doubt, panic button and drop a meteor on somebody's head. Which I'm not gonna lie, that would be the kind of contingency plan I'd have. That's really lucky. I wouldn't drop the meteor immediately. You gotta wait and let them not suspect anything's gonna happen, and then, like, a few hours later, the meteor drops on their head. I feel that. Building the drive to clean up at all is generally a big problem for me. Scaling skill damage, okay. I know I've said this a couple times, but this is actual last run. This game is really addicting to me, but I do have to get ready for work in like an hour from now, so... Yeah, that is basically true. It has to come from just actually pushing yourself to do it. Oh yeah, because it's easier to do when there isn't the massive pile. But it's kind of one of those things that just kind of hits when you come to the conclusion that putting it off just makes it worse. But there's always that temptation of, well, if I don't do it now, I'll just deal with it in the future. And the future's a nebulous thing, so you can keep putting it off into the future until you realize you can't do that. Oh, that's a big circle. Rude. Fair. Ooh, that almost went poorly because he got that attack off that healed him at a really awkward time. Well, as usual, the last hit point's the only one that matters. I absolutely should buy the heal. That right there, that's the right choice. This right here, this is the fun choice. I'm buying the fun thing. Regret. Yeah. Get him, little buddy. I'm not sure this was worth my 200 gold. Well. Well, at least they persist from screen to screen, so I can just build up a pile of them. Or I walk into a poison pool and die. But I have the revive. Fuck you, game. You thought you won? It's not over yet. It's only over when I say it's over. Tornado. If I could just add the fire to the tornado, that would be good. It's one of those days across the board, yeah. Which is fair, yeah. Resting after being sick for a few days is entirely fair. Never a bad idea. I really need to get back on that myself. Nice. Especially this time of year. Our walks will be nice. If I didn't walk to work every day, I would go to the park that's like right across the street from me. But since I walk to work and back every day, I don't feel I need to. Also, ew people. Ow. I have an idea. I need to keep some of these little guys alive for a moment. Yes! Go, my Wisp Army! Get him, my friends! Mob him! And they're dead. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Yeah, same. Same. I think a lot of it comes down to you're meeting people more on your terms rather than you're walking around trying to go about your business doing something else and dealing with all the people. So, Wisp Pile is actually really good. Huh. I'm glad I risked my life to buy that item. Did not get in the time limit, but that's okay. Unfortunately, breaking the objects around the rooms doesn't count towards your hits to get a skill recharge. Which is fair, because that would be pretty cheesy. But it would help a lot. I was hoping to pull more of them into that tornado to burn them to make wisps, but take what I can get. This way. More crit chance. That'll put us at like 36% on third hit, so that'll be pretty good. Oh hey, you can actually buy a different skill if you don't like what you've got. That is not a trade I'm willing to take right now. Damage reduction or straight up increase my damage by 1. Since I don't need the heal, I'm going to buy the Bulwark Relic. Because I need that damage reduction. These guys hit pretty damn hard. We might make it at least to the mini-boss this time. So I think that's actually coming up soon. Basically, yeah. It's a pretty accurate descriptor for it. There really isn't much to this other than what you've already seen. It very much boils down to the standard formula of meet new people and kill them. I need that heal. I would love to have the gold, but I need the heal more. Yep, that one's empty. Mini boss. It's this jerk again, huh? Okay. Royal Phalanx. Frosty the Snowman gone wrong. Back in too early. Oh, he followed a lot better than I expected him to on that one. Burn him just to summon a wisp. Got him. Out of here with those ice vortexes. I have enough problems with polar vortexes. I don't need them here too. Yeah. That horn gives me a buff, just like they have, but it doesn't matter. That guy's just going to destroy me at this point. Ah, well. That was a good last run. I'm more than happy to end on a high note. Can't really afford any other upgrades. Didn't get a new skill tablet. Let's see where I can send all of you brilliant people to. Got two very good choices here. Don't actually know because there's an ad. Wait, what? Because I closed the game because I'm getting ready to raid out. No, that is across the board because, like I said, the game has been closed because we're ending. Everything is fine. There is no reason to panic. The camera being black is because the camera broke at some point. I gave up fixing it today. Yeah, I know. I don't want to stop streaming today either, but I have to work. So, it is what it is. Just gonna flip this coin to decide who I'm sending everybody to. Because I've got two good choices and I can't decide. Unfortunately. War Machine side says that. Blade side says that. Of course, I don't know what coin drop side means, but okay. And I was happy to have you. There should be another one. I think it's Friday that I have off. Let me check before I send this. Yeah, I should be doing a longer stream on Friday. I mean, that goes both ways, Nimble. More often than not, I end up having to go to bed before or you guys start up at night either. So it just ends up being time zones and schedules just don't work out. And Xeno's usually done by the time I wake up lately, so we cover the time frame nicely for everybody else, but we don't cover the time frame nice for each other, if that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that I've been getting up later again because my schedule shifted back down to me working late again. Neither of these are about to end or anything. That one's just starting. It really feels like that, yeah. Yeah, I've rated him more often, so I'm gonna send everybody to see Crimson. As soon as I can get it to let me. Which, why are you like this? There we go. Crimson's playing Disgaea. They're good people. Go be nice to them, like you are to me at all times. Thank you all for being here. Today was surprisingly strong. And I will always be grateful for the time you guys take to be here. Have a good one.
Is a personalized thank you card plus entry into a raffle to win some custom